Let's go.
Hello, hello. Welcome to today's show. I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Nicole. And you are muted still.
If I can have one day without any kind of technical issues.
I knew you was going to say that. And the wonderful Maxim Furek. I've probably pronounced that wrong again, but it's the best I can do. I'm sorry, mate.
Yeah, it would be Maxim Furek. We could go with that.
Correct. Yeah.
Good to see you, Andy. Good to see you, Nicole. So, yeah.
No, thank you so much for coming back on.
Yeah, we did this before. Let's see. I was checking my records. It was Wednesday, May 21st of this year, and we might have talked about the lost tribes of Bigfoot. But to tell you the truth, I don't know. I didn't write down what it was, but
I without going back and having a look,
anything down.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, you do tons of these, right? You do 2 of these a week.
2 a week, yeah.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
So,
sometimes 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so your gray matter must be either like jelly or it's just like, I mean, pulsating with all kinds of electricity.
Well, I do. So we do this one Wednesday and Friday, which is swapping around. So Wednesdays is just going to be me and Nicole. And we're going to be doing pre-recorded, and we're just going through the alphabet and talking about different topics of the paranormal. Then Friday's going to be the main day for this kind of stuff, but it's going to be more of a panel. So we're kind of in mid-transition of swapping them over.
Sure.
So our last Wednesday with a guest is on the 10th of December, so 2 weeks today. Then there's not going to be any more Wednesdays until January 2026. But I'm going to keep hitting the Fridays until then. But then I do a podcast with the missus, which is called That Him and Her Podcast. I do another one on another YouTube channel that I've just started that was going out on a TV network in the US, but that was, I'm not even going to comment on that. So
we don't talk about that.
Yeah. So luckily I've saved each video because they're all pre-recorded and I've uploaded them onto the new channel. So that's called Just Mates. So then I do that one as well. But because they're pre-recorded, I can fit them in as and when I need to. So it makes life a little bit easier than doing a live like 5 nights a week. But other than that, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
And breathe.
Yeah. You sound like you're working at, burning the candles at both ends.
And then I work full time as well.
Wow.
I have a family life and just, everything else going on. And a dog and just,
Any
crazy.
Any idea about the popularity of the paranormal in the UK versus the States?
Massive. I'd say it's a paranormal ghosts and spirits. I'd say is that and ufology, and now coming in cryptids is breaking into it. I'd say they're the 3 main topics.
Sure.
In the paranormal. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, not so much because the UK, we kind of really don't have that. It's more of a Woodwose, Green Man, Wild Man type thing.
Is Bigfoot a cryptid? Does he get lumped in with cryptids?
For me, yeah, because he's an elemental. He lives out in the forest, doesn't he? Messes about with wood and trees and leaves and grass and all that kind of stuff. So possibly, I'd say so, yeah. But then the Fae is a really big thing in the UK, in the British Isles, because obviously it stems back to like the magic and the mysteries, and then you've got Stonehenge, and you've got not just Stonehenge, but all the other henges, and then you've got like the castles and all these A-listed buildings that are hundreds, if not thousands, years old. I suppose France has got quite a few as well, but it just seems to be a lot more the mystical, magical, Fae lore in the UK. England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. I'm not sure about the other places like the Isle of Man and Jersey and Guernsey, but yeah, they seem to be the biggest takeoff in the world of the paranormal.
Okay. Well, everybody knows about Stonehenge.
Yes.
There's so much other mystical lore with the UK, and and a lot of that came over to the States with the immigrants, all the settlers. They brought their superstitions with them, and whether they were Irish, English, Welsh, German, whatever. So that's just the way it is. And then we figured out a way to go and redo that, reintroduce that, and it's never gone away. So we probably believe a lot of the same things that you folks do over in the UK.
Yeah, it seems, because I know in the US the Bigfoot community, there's a very big split in everyone that believes in Bigfoot, but opposed to what it actually is. Where in the UK, it's just getting worse. The paranormal teams and investigators in the UK, everyone is falling out with everyone at the minute over. Some of it's just trivia stuff that isn't even worth.
Is there a civil war going on in the paranormal community? Because we have that. Pardon?
I said I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I find that within, I wrote a book called The Lost Tribes of Bigfoot, and I find some really sharp differences of opinion and animosity with a lot of the Bigfoot guys. I mean, they don't like each other. They question whether or not John Doe did see a Bigfoot. So, there's just a whole lot of that. Plus, the other thing is, the thing, whether it's flesh and blood or it's woo, and they use the term woo, and I've been referred to as Dr. Woo because I believe that Bigfoot, if anything, is an interdimensional creature, just like UAPs, that I believe that they just zigzag in between dimensions, and that's as close to the truth as we can get, because none of us have a background in astrophysics or biology or quantum mechanics or any of that stuff. So, we can't figure it out, but that theory makes more sense to me, even though with the Bigfooters, they have eyewitnesses, they smell Bigfoot, they see they hear the hoots, they have the wood knocks, they see the structures, a lot of that. So there's something to be said. But again, at the end of the day, we don't have any DNA, any physical evidence, nothing. There's nothing to present to the scientific community saying here is what Bigfoot represents. So, it's difficult to go and speak to that with any kind of validity because we have nothing, no DNA, no carcass, no anything. So
no. I know I do actually think I don't just open my mouth and say stuff anymore, but I've just been having a lot of conversations about what it all is. And I'm just, the more I think about it, the deeper I get. It's like, I used to think that all the connection to everything is some kind of shared consciousness. It's everything. I'm not saying every little thing is connected, but the consciousness side to it, because I've been researching how crows and magpies and all that can share their consciousness like halfway around the world. They see someone, and if that person's mean to them, they will pass that down onto their young, and they'll pass it round the crow community and the ravens and that, and they'll know to stay away from that person. But then if you're kind to them, obviously, the opposite effect. And so, this is where I sound really weird. So whenever I see crows and magpies and that, I'll like click at them sort of thing to say like, don't go like that, trying to scare them off. So I've noticed now though, but even when I'm in the van or the car and drive past and I'll put the window down, I'll make the clicking noise. When all the other cars are going past, they fly off. Yeah. Some of them say that as I drive past at the same speed, either none or next, like a couple might move. The rest of them will just stay there.
Can you demonstrate this clicking sound, please?
Yeah. It's better than my Texas accent. But it's like you're like just with your tongue at the top of your mouth. Yeah, like that. And I just been doing it probably about 2-3 years now. Just whenever I see a murder of crows, I'll just do the clicking noise to them. And like I'll pull up and park up if they're on the grass or on a wall or what have you, just to see what reaction I get from that. I'm not asked about all the people walking past going, look at that lunatic. Forget them.
The crow
So it's just to do this, like my own experiment research. And it just seems to be working.
Well, you could communicate with them. I would think they're highly intelligent.
Yeah.
You know, supposedly their brains are bigger than what they need, and they spend time not just foraging and procreating and surviving, but they do fun things. They'll drop rocks on windows. They'll steal shiny things. They'll communicate. I mean, they're intelligent. They
can talk.
They can talk.
Yeah.
So,
but that's what I was saying. So with the shared consciousness, I believe that with the world of paranormal, we are part of that shared consciousness, but it's tuning in, like you tune into a TV on the old analog or a radio station. It's tuning into the correct frequency to see what you want. So we're talking about doing CE5 experiments. We're going to be doing one this weekend. And for me, it's the same sort of thing. You're tuning in when you do this intent, when you create an intent to do something to manifest. For me, you're trying to tune into something, and then that in turn tunes into you, and that's why you get the connection. And that, out of everything I've heard and read and looked at, for me, that just makes so much more sense than anything else. It's more logical. I know you don't really use logic in the paranormal, but for me, it just seems the correct way to go at the minute.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. I think everything is everything, and that's a good starting point. I think we share the same kind of vibrations, although some of us are at a higher vibrational level than others. We can evolve, we can do that. And I think that Jung's concept of collective unconsciousness, where we are actually connected to our ancestors through DNA and all those archetypes and all those shadow worlds and people and that, I think that makes sense. I mean, it's a great explanation for the fact that we're all in this together, and I mean, it's an altruistic, all in comprehensive theory, but I kind of like that. It just makes sense when you say that everything is everything, and it's almost like quantum physics. That there's a certain law, a certain hypothesis that will explain everything. So that's kind of I think what you're saying and what I'm trying to piggyback on.
Yeah, well, it's like, obviously, as you're growing up as a kid and you'd see like different animals and insects and all mammals and all that kind of stuff. Some of them you're like, ooh, don't like that, but you don't have a reason why you like it. And then other stuff you're drawn to, regardless. There seems to be no fear, even if it's an animal that you've never seen before that could potentially kill you.
Right.
So there must be some kind of shared consciousness in that that's been going from day one for us to feel that way, because why else would you be like that? Because I always go with my gut instincts now, more so from doing like paranormal investigating and what have you. Because when you try and work out what it is that's going on, you just don't get anywhere. You end up going backwards, if anything. But I found if you go with your gut feeling, it takes you the right way you need to go, whether it's hanging around and doing more experiments and research or getting your ass out of there before anything bad happens.
Right, yeah.
But that must be the same with when you meet different things. It's like we've said before on the show, I don't know if we spoke to you about it, but when you meet someone for the first time, they're just neutral, you click with them, or you get a really bad vibe about that person. Well, you know what I mean? And it's working out why you are getting either of them three connections, whether it's good, bad, or neutral.
Yeah. Well, and look at it this way too, if you would. I think one of the greatest joys we have as human beings is the joy of connecting. I mean, and I'm sure that you get it more than I do, being podcasters. But when I'm on these podcasts, I mean, there's some podcasters that I immediately connect with. That's the joy of human connection. It's probably one of the best things that we have as human beings.
Yeah.
People that are addicted, people that have low self-esteem, people that are wallowing in shame, people that are mentally ill, they don't have that gift of connection because they don't feel that they're worthy of it. So they're over there on the sidelines doing whatever it is. And it's possible that maybe some of the people that you talk to are like that. They may feel that they're not worthy of talking to Andy of Alien 8 UK. They may feel that, you are more advanced and accomplished and whatever than them. I mean, it's just simple, basic human psychology. You either feel good about yourself and you're confident, and you go out into the world singing like that and celebrating every day, or, you have your head down and you're just feel kind of gloomy. So again, I mean, not everybody's as upbeat as you two. And, I mean, some people are just dealing with their own things. Yeah. And then with the shame, if you're raised with shame, for example, like if you're caregivers, if your parents said that you were a mistake, not that you are a mistake, but that you are a mistake. And you go through life thinking that, dealing with that shame, you have a hard time fitting in, you overcompensate, you puff yourself up. I mean, nothing's good, nothing's equal. It's a real shame. So that's the problem. But I mean, we're talking, and then I don't know. I mean, that was sort of a deep dive into the psychological.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, I'm gonna shut up right there. But
I get.
But that's why. I mean, why is it that you could talk to somebody and just have a wonderful vibe and connection, and they get you, and you want to continue, and it's easy to do the conversation. When other people, you sort of have to pull it out of them, or they're guarded, or there's something about them that they seem a little bit reserved and formal. They're not quite clicking. They're sort of like, I don't know why. You know what I mean? They got a little bit of a buffer out there, a little bit of a psychic defense. So they're not going to let you in real close. So
we'll get that.
And let me throw another one at you if I can. If I'm going to continue. There's a term called mystification, and that's where some academics will use highfalutin words that only like 5 people in the scientific community know what they mean. But they'll use these words as mystification, to bamboozle and confuse people and get them spun around, using words as power, or misusing words, as a power play. So mystification, and these who they are, the best way to communicate is on the most basic level so that everybody knows what everybody's talking about. So that's my 2 cents, or my 6 pence. What you say over there?
Yeah, it's fine. We'll go for $20. Okay. If you're gonna go big.
And listen, at some point, you can feel free to say, "Shut up, that's it." I'm pulling the cord. Okay, stop talking. Okay.
I'll just do the gong. It's all right. We've got a gong when the guest doesn't stop talking, and
okay.
But I've had it used. I've had it used on me, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it's all good.
We all do. Yeah, I mean, we get played. Come on.
Yeah. But I tell you what. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I was going to say in the game of life we all get played. So that's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
Nothing
but
important.
What I did do is a couple of weeks ago, and so we've been to a conference that Bosworth Hall. Todd, who's in the chat, Todd Coco, and his wife Kamala. It's Kamala, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nicole.
Yes.
Yeah. So they came over to the UK. I picked them up and we went there. I was there for 4 days. And there's a coven there, and they was telling us about different ways to do stuff and to get people out of your life. Write the name on a bit of paper, put it in a jar, and then put that jar in the freezer and freeze them. Right? This is going to sound really bad, but I don't give a shit because... Yeah. So I've got 2 little, glass jars, wrote these names on it, put them in that individually, put them in the freezer, not heard anything from either of this person since the day I did that. Because I thought, is it a bit woo? Is it legit or what? And I've done it, and it's like, oh, this shit actually works.
Yeah.
So
well, evidently, on some level, it works, right?
Yeah.
Now, going with our theory that everything is everything, with quantum physics, I'm pretty sure there is one of the latest theory is the everything theory, that it's a way to look at a hypothesis, to look at everything, to include everything. I mean, there's a rational explanation or a scientific explanation for everything that works and evolves and progresses, with this theory. Now, again, it's just a theory, but, but it's interesting. It's part of the string theory. I think it's the latest,
yes.
In progression of the string theory that I really don't know what the hell that is, but maybe you guys could explain that because I don't know, but I read about it and sounds like it's something I should know.
Yeah, I know of it, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So
yeah. Well,
I think it goes back to the connection of everything. I see Sean's put his correct name on there today.
Oh, I see that.
Yes. So it's all good. Just a quick one before we carry on, if it's okay. I just got a quick health update for Simon Riley. So Simon's watching. He did have a lump cancer near his eye. So he's had it removed. It was not fatal. So he's had it removed. He'd gone back today to have the plastic surgery done, but they couldn't do it. So he's got to go back because he's got an hole underneath his eye. So he looks like a pirate at the minute, but he's doing well. And this is why he's not in the chat, because basically he can't see and he can't put his glasses on one eye to see. So I told him to get a monocle like Patrick Moore and just sit there like that, but he weren't having it. But he's okay. So, yes. So I just wanted to put that out there. So if people are going to be asking where he was, because he's not been in for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. And what's his first name?
Pirate.
What's his
Simon.
Name? Yeah, Simon. Hey, positive vibes to Simon. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, good vibes to Simon.
Thank you. Yeah, so he's all good. I spoke to him this evening, and it's all gone well. So that was it. So sorry about that. Didn't want to thingy, but if I didn't do it now, I'd forget.
Yeah. And I don't know how it is in the UK, but this isn't paranormal, but I know a whole lot of people in my small circle that are dealing with cancer or AFib or mental illness. Take your pick. There's a lot of it going around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what, and I spend time between Pennsylvania and Florida, and I don't know what it is, but I mean, it has to be either stress, the environment, DNA. I don't know, but a lot of people dealing with cancer.
I'd say without going too deep, I'd say it's to do with ingredients,
Yeah.
if anything.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
a
not
lot
saying-
of hormones in food.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah. I don't want to say too much and then they come knocking on the door and get dragged in a van and never seen again.
Yeah, right. That'd be a van with New Jersey plates.
Yeah, I'm not that brave.
Well, even in New York, you have Love Canal. That's infamous. And where's that? By Buffalo?
I have no idea. I've never heard of it.
Yeah. There was a toxic place. Yeah, no, in Love Canal. Yeah, Buffalo, yeah. Bad news.
Right. Yeah.
There's places like that all over. So I don't know.
Right, we've got a couple of questions for you, both from Todd. So I'll do one after the other, and then we'll see how it goes. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, sure.
So the first one, so Maxim, on the paranormal side, what was it like when you interviewed Ed and Lorraine Warren and your thoughts on their work?
Yeah, my book, The Schmerl Haunting, is about the haunting in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, which is the same theme as Conjuring Last Rites, the 9th movie in the Conjuring franchise. And for anybody keeping score, I think Conjuring is up to like $2.7 billion net. And so it's the most successful horror franchise of all history. But West Pittston was up in my backyard. So I went up there to investigate, to talk to the neighbors, to take pictures and all that. Never talked to the Schmerls. I just didn't want to go and harass them, impose on them during their ordeal. But in 1988, Ed and Lorraine Warren began a 15-city book tour, and they were promoting their book, The Haunted, which was about the West Pittston Schmerl haunting. So, this haunting has been around for a while, but I got permission to meet with them, interview them, take pictures, and that was in 1988. And one of my fondest memories was hanging out with Ed and Lorraine, asking them questions about the demonic and about how they did battle with these demonic forces and all that, and took pictures, met them. As a matter of fact, the Schmerl haunting, my book, The Schmerl Haunting, the photographs of them I took, and those are in 1988. So I have a whole bunch of shots that I took of them, but they were in their 60s. I think I was 41 at the time. And I stayed in touch with them over the years. And Lorraine was an animal lover. She had a pet rooster called Einstein, and I'd call up Ed to ask him questions, and you could hear Einstein in the background, crowing. But the thing of it is, I like Ed and Lorraine. I like what they represented, what they did. They were good to me, even though a lot of the people out there do not like Ed and Lorraine Warren for whatever reason. And probably one reason is that there's jealousy, there's professional animosity, because Ed and Lorraine were successful. They were making $5,000 per college appearance, making over 700 appearances back in the day when 5,000 was a whole lot of money. So a lot of people didn't like them. Certainly pagans and Wiccans didn't like them, because Ed and Lorraine took a traditional Christian viewpoint of stark black and white. Things are either good or they're evil. They're either good or bad. And, pagans, of course, look at demonic or negative energies as being all around us, as being part of us, negative or energies that we need to coexist with. So that's how they view it. And certainly Ed and Lorraine, and again, not bashing Christians or Catholics at all. That's not my intent. I'm just saying that there's a difference in viewpoint, which is fine. But some folks, like Ed and Lorraine, I think looked at the world in shades of black and white, when really, in reality, I think everyone would agree, as we said, with a theory of everything, that you have to look at the shades of gray, because that's pretty much where it's happening. I.e., you and I connect, we talk, we have the joy of connecting, but yet there's the shades of gray, the nuances, the things that we don't know. That's what keeps it interesting. But Ed and Lorraine, I liked them. They were good to me. They were ambassadors. They were pioneers. They were able to teach the world about the realm of demonology, just as Sybil Leek taught the world about witchcraft. So two pioneers and ambassadors that opened up the doors for probably millions of people. So that's what they did. They were there pretty much first out of the starting gate. They were both great at publicity. They had their own publicists and photographers, and so they were good at that because, let's face it, that's key. You know, even guys like me, you don't just write the books, but you got to promote the books. You know, you work hard, you get on podcast in the UK, and you pray, you know, to your higher power that karma is going to kick in and something's going to happen. So, yes, Andy, thank you. Yeah, I'm giving him thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just going to put the next question up. Is that okay? Because it's continuation.
Let's go with number 2. Okay, we're ready. Nicole, you ready for this?
You ready? Right.
I'm always ready. Yeah.
So this is.
We're going to tag team on this. Nicole and I,
so
okay.
this is from Todd again. It's not about Todd and Lorraine. It's not about them.
Ed and Lorraine.
Yeah. This is about consciousness. That's right. I'm losing it already. It's only been about 20 minutes. So he wants to know, what was the term consciousness used or talked about early on in your research / work?
When I began to be educated in psychology, and I'm a psychology major and a communications major, but we were pretty much in behaviorism. And behaviorism was people like B.F. Skinner. Actually, B.F. Skinner's daughter, I think, is in London. B.F. Skinner had the Skinner box. And he would use this box where he would reward animals, pigeons, rats, for pressing on a lever. They would get a little reward. So he did the Skinner box. So it was operant conditioning. It was Pavlov's dog. We realized that, you know, you give the dog some food, you ring the bell, and at some point, if you just rang the bell, the dog would salivate. So you could teach an organism, you know, to respond to a certain stimuli. So that it wasn't so much about the consciousness, but it was about that, you know, like maybe the physiological working. So when we were studying behavioral psychology, the main question that we asked was, are we doing something wrong? Are we trying to play God? Are we in a position where we could actually change people into something else and control them? So that was the thing that we were concerned with. It was more of an ethical thing. You know, are we doing the right thing? And if you look at Clockwork Orange, Anthony Burgess's sci-fi motion, you know, book, and then the motion picture with Stanley Kubrick, that was the one that spoke to behaviorism, and it spoke to Alex and his droogies using this technique to fry their brain and get them right. I mean, that's what that was. And they actually changed the plot of the book to make it more violent. You know, in the European version, everything was really good. It was la-di-da. It was, you know, a nice life forever after. But in the American version, there was some kind of chaos and violence that ended the book. So, but Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess, I remember seeing Anthony Burgess when I was going to school in Michigan, and he was from Liverpool. His wife had gotten beat up by the Teddy Boys, and Clockwork Orange based on this on his wife. So he was a Catholic guy from Liverpool, and I remember seeing him, and that was just so great because Clockwork Orange was, I mean, it was, you know, I don't know if Kubrick's film holds up, but today, but I mean the story does, and it's about it's like 1984. It's like authoritarian control. It's like what we're dealing with, not only in the United States but in the UK and all over. The shift to the right, you know, a shift to the right with everybody. So hang on because, it's a wicked ride. And, I don't like where we're going, but I mean, I don't know what to do, so.
Yeah, we don't have time machines or rockets to go somewhere different.
But I don't know where. Listen, I just went to the movies. What do you call them? Cinema. We went to the
cinema.
Just to see The Running Man, and the movie
Oh,
theater right down the road from me. So I'm seeing all these things like Sinners from 2025 was great. Weapons with Julia Garner was awesome. I mean, horror films as art. I just saw Black Box 2, and what else? I see them all. But anyway, Running Man was there. But anyway, all the trailers were for these apocalyptic movies that are coming. It's the end of the world, and we're looking at that. And people are fixated with dystopian literature and cinema. We are looking at that, and that's what's happening all over the world. So talk about commonality, talk about the same vibe, same everything. I think we do this to deal with, maybe the inevitable, that the world's going to end.
Yeah.
And we're all going to suffer before we die, whatever. It's nothing, none of it's good. But we try to make sense of this through cinema and literature and songs and all of that. So that's my take. I call that, my term is apocalyptic awe, that we conquer the fear through curiosity. We do it through literature, cinema, we do it through music, and that's what we do.
But that's always how it's been. People use the arts to kind of express things that they can't say in like real life, everyday life.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's cathartic. It helps us get through. It's what you have to do. It's almost like Freud and Jung had talk therapy. If you have something that's you're dealing with, some horrible thing, you talk about it and you make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. And so it's this size. It has substance. It has a beginning and end. But you can deal with this. We can all deal with it. You can't deal with this big monster, this omnivore that suffers us. But you could deal with something that has a beginning and end, whatever that is, whatever that horrible thing that happened in your past. You can identify it, deal with it, and sort of control it. So that's the monster under the bed. That's the monster in the bedroom, that we all deal with. So
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
I think the big thing with what's going on in the world is that we think that we have a choice. It's the illusion that you're able to have input, and I don't really think people do.
Well, here's the thing. You don't have control over the things that impact on you, whether it's, Gaza being destroyed or Russia invading Ukraine or whatever crazy thing is out there, whatever it is. You have no control over that, neither do I. But we do have control over the way we respond to it. So, I'm trying to purge Putin and Russia from my head because, I wake up just thinking about Russia invading Ukraine and it just drives me crazy. And I need to go and just purge that and not think about it because I can't do anything unless I enlist and go over there and, but, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, we all have our demons that affect us in certain ways. And so anyway, but we do, that's the important thing. We have control over our feelings and our emotions. And you can do this through prayer and meditation. It's probably the best thing we could do. Just meditate at a certain point, find that safe place to go to and go there during your hour of need. So during your hour of paranormal need, so I think that's a good thing. I'm a big person who's into meditation and and so were the Beatles, by the way. So
well, it's good. There's nothing harmful that can come from meditation. It can only help, your mental state.
I think so. I think with me, the way, and see if you agree with this, Nicole, but I think with me, meditation is a way to get to that safe spot where there's no noise, where everything is slowed down and it's tranquil. So you find a way to get there to that safe place. And then throughout the day, when the white noise is coming at you, when they're making you crazy, when the demons are coming after you, you could meditate and get back to that place. you can always find that place of safety. So that's the most important thing that we can do as human beings, other than, I said before about connecting, that human connection. I mean, there's certain things that we do. And I think it's important to realize, that humans are special. We're made in the image of God. One of the reasons that we're special is that we have more DNA than the animals do. And with that, we have a better ability for cognition and spirituality. And, we were talking earlier, or I don't know if you started it, Andy, or me, but with the vibrational level, our
Yes.
vibrational level is a lot more higher than the animals. And yes, they have language, and yes, they could play with tools, and yes, they could do this and that, but they're not us. We rule the planet, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But humans are better because we have more DNA, and more is better. And more DNA means more cells for cognition, more cells for spirituality. So that's what's good about us. I mean, whenever, so.
No, I totally get that, because everyone will know I always meditate before I start a stream, whether it's live or pre-recorded, just to get to the level that I want to be at. And it's like, right, ready now, can go.
And with, you mentioned the word intention before, and, Oprah was a big one. Are you familiar with Oprah Winfrey here in the United States?
Yes. Yeah.
Who in the world is not familiar with Oprah?
My wife would be listening to the Oprah show, and I think, man, this is good stuff. She'd have Deepak Chopra on, and she'd have Dr. Oz before Dr. Oz lost his way, and she would have all these people there. But I mean, she was like, man, was she good? She was good. I mean, she just had whatever that was, that ability to break down barriers and communicate with everybody. Oprah has that. She's 1 in a billion. And I don't know
I know one reason. It's all the cars she was giving away.
You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
Yeah. And Nicole, let me ask you this: what does Oprah have that we don't have, other than the $1 billion
money
empire? I mean, what do you think she has, personality-wise, character-wise? What do you think that is her ingredient? The most important ingredient that Oprah has.
I don't know. I think she just connects with people really well, and she's somebody that people want to talk to and share with.
Yeah.
It's that trust.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, she doesn't hold back. She is. I mean.
Yeah.
Not sponsored by Oprah.
No, not yet. Would be nice, but
we don't get cars.
No.
I would love for one of my books to be on her. So I would love to be on her. I'll tell you what, I am ready for prime time. If Oprah called me and said, be in Chicago tomorrow, I am ready to go there and talk to her and, talk, do my talking points and all that. I mean, like, I'm ready. And I think for a lot of us, other than, trying to manifest what we want and putting out our intentions into the universe, we're waiting for the moment where we have a larger stage. And when that happens, I mean, that's with fate, and that's with serendipity, and that's with karma and all that. But at some point, for some of us, not all of us, that may come, and we may get the knock on the door, and the door may open for us. So, and I don't know. I think that's a spiritual concept. It's our job to knock on the door, and if it's His will, if it's His intention, then that door will open. Him, our higher power, whoever that is, and it doesn't matter. So anyway, but that's, I think we all would like to go and, be maybe just a little bit more successful, have a little bit more, readers and, reviews on Amazon and being monetized more and all this. So, we're.
Yeah. See, I'd love to do this full time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if you go into it with the intention of, I want to be rich, I want to be famous, I want to be in the public eye, I don't think that you come off as genuine. And I feel like people respond better to people who get there more organically.
Yeah.
That may be,
100%.
but for a while I was a practicing Buddhist. I was a Japanese Buddhist, the Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. I talked to Americans who were, this was in San Diego, who were practicing Buddhism, and they said this: with Christianity, we typically pray for the ability to work towards a goal. Like, let me work hard to get a job promotion or to win the race or whatever. With these Buddhists, they were saying, no, you can go and ask for, sex, wealth, possessions, whatever. You go right to the source. You don't dance around it, but that's what they were saying. So again, again, I'm not a theologian. I'm not a Buddhist academic, but this is what I heard from Americans that were dabbling at the Japanese Gohanzen, in Japanese Buddhism. So different, as the Dalai Lama said, many roads lead to the same place.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Nicole, what you said, you're right. I have buddy of mine from the villages in here in Florida. He goes, Max, he goes, this is like what you were just saying. He goes, a guy like you sound more like you're somebody from the West Coast. You're somebody from LA. He goes, guys don't talk like that here in Florida. And Jim was telling me to sort of lay back a little bit, mellow out a little bit. Don't be as assertive, opinionated, aggressive, etc. He didn't think that worked in Florida, but it worked in LA. And, maybe he's true, and he probably is true, but I don't think at this point I can change, and I'm not gonna, but I mean, what I'm doing is working for me. But yeah, a lot of people don't like assertive people. They don't like opinionated people. And, and a lot of those people too are shy and timid people. And so that's one reason why they may not like us who are a little bit more aggressive. So I don't know.
Yeah. Bit more out there.
Aggressive is fine, yeah, as long as it's authentic. But you find a lot of people, especially in this field, who aren't really being authentic.
There's probably more none than
are
legit.
Yeah. Well, again, I talk to people like, we're not so much talking about Bigfoot, but when I talk to some people in the Bigfoot community, they tell me that they've seen Bigfoot. They tell me that they've gotten PTSD from seeing Bigfoot at 15 feet. They tell me that Bigfoot gives them gifts, that Bigfoot is the teacher and they're the students. I mean, they interact with Bigfoot, and Bigfoot likes pears and apples, and Bigfoot likes country music, not rap. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I try to be respectful and listen to what they're saying, but I don't know. I mean, I don't have any proof of that, I certainly, my only claim to fame was, with, when I'm a Vietnam vet, I served on a aircraft carrier, the USS Constellation. I was a radar, and I saw solid, tangible UFOs, maneuverable UFOs as a radarman. And the same thing happened in 2014 with the Nimitz. These Navy pilots saw the same thing, now called UAPs, saw the same thing. I mean, 3% of what we see, we don't know what they are. They're anomalies. And and then I haven't seen The Age of Disclosure. Have you heard about that, or have you seen it?
Yeah, we talked about it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. No, because it's just going to be nonsense, like all the other disclosures that.
Well,
you just say the same thing.
You're right. Well, look at
different.
Looking at the states, we had 3 congressional hearings: July of 2023, November of 2024, September of 2025. All of them are saying the same thing: that the government knows something and won't tell us, that the government has captured craft and non-human biologics. And, they've been saying this for the last 3 years. David Grush, who says he knows where the bodies are, he knows where the crafts are, will disclose that under the right setting to the right people. Now, that was in July of 2023. So where's the information? Where is it?
Money. It's money.
They're sitting on it.
Yeah, Because we know that the government have got craft. We know that they've collected bodies, whether they've been living or not. So they're just telling us what we already know. We don't want to know what they know. We want physical proof. We want the hard evidence. It's like, we found this from a UFO, and they'll bring it and they'll show us, and people can do tests on it and prove that it's not, the origin isn't from Earth.
Yeah.
Even if it's from the moon or anywhere. Yeah.
I got a theory about the UFOs and the government conspiracy. And I think there's clandestine arms of the government below the CIA and FBI, groups that you've never heard of, that are being funded by the Defense Department, that it would take a genius, a financial genius to track, to see where the money's going. But I think they work on their own. They're autonomous. And I don't think that the President of the United States would able to have access to the information. It's on a need to know basis. And these congressmen and congresswomen who had these hearings in 23, 24, and 25 do not have a need to know. And they don't believe, I don't think that they believe the American public does. And so they just keep that there. I think the United States, Russia, China, I don't know who else, maybe Israel, have programs going, dealing with this that that the average person will never have access to, because they don't trust us with it. Whether they think that we'll go mad if we know that there's aliens out there, whether you've heard all the arguments against it, that we can't handle it, that it would turn society upside down because we believe in God and all this and salvation.
That's what I was going to say.
Not God, but I feel like it's more the people in authority. They have, the highest authority, elected officials, but they don't if, aliens can just come wipe us off the face of the planet anytime they feel like it.
And as well with that, it'll just destroy religion. Doesn't matter what faith or what you practice, that will just become non-existent.
Yeah.
Because it'll alter everything we've ever been taught from the beginning of time, because we know things change, and yet the curriculum that they're teaching in schools and colleges at the moment is the same stuff that was doing from the 70s. It's like 50 years, 6 decades on. It's the same stuff.
Well, the Pope covered it, because if aliens exist, God made aliens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But it's like,
or
just
God,
quickly,
or Allah, or the higher power.
Whatever name you choose to use. But just going back to like how skills, I know I'm going a bit off topic, but it will make sense in a minute. I was in high school in the 80s, and part of our English literature, we had to read a book called, I can't remember, but it was a TV show or a film that was filmed black and white in the 60s. Now, Becky's daughter, she's 15, and they've just finished doing that in school. This is like 40 odd years later. I think it's an Inspector Calls, and they're reading the same book that I did for my GCSEs back in 1988, 89. So, you know what I mean? It's not changing. There's no updates. There's probably some, but if they're not changing basic English, what else are they not changing?
How are the kids doing in the UK as far as reading, writing, and arithmetic? I mean, here in the States, a lot of the the academic scores are really going down.
Oh, they're going up here, but I under the impression things are getting easier, because I know people, young adults in the 20s, that cannot tell the time on an analog clock. I was learning that at 5 years old. We was being taught how to change a plug and change a fuse, how to sew, all that in primary school at like 5, 6, 7 years old. Yeah, 20, nearly 30-year-olds cannot tell the time on an analog clock. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. In the States, we have these prep schools, preparatory schools. So rather than going to
Yeah.
high school, you go there to get an edge on going to college, and they teach you not to memorize the information, but critical thinking. Take a look at this and compare and contrast. You know, I mean, that's how you.
Yeah, we have sixth form in the UK, so that's a bit same sort of thing. It's a bit in between leaving high school and going to college.
Mm-hmm. And you have in the UK, you have coalition government, right?
No. Well, no, we have Labour, Conservative, Liberal Democrats, and a few other bits and pieces, but they're all just as bad as each other. It's the same.
In order to get in power, don't you have to share the platform with each other? Is that how that works?
No. The only time that happens, and no one owed me to this because I'm not 100% sure, is if the Prime Minister resigns and there's no one to take over, and then they have to vote in the new leader. They have a standing Prime Minister, but I think it happened a few years ago. Someone helped me out in the chat. I know Darren, Baby with a Laser, will know this, and even Adam Sander. The other people as well, they're just two off the top of my head that I know will know. But they have done it where they've had a coalition just to keep, like when we was doing Brexit, when we was coming out of Europe, everyone was getting involved into doing all that kind of stuff. Like, because there was no laws, rules or regulations. So we had to kind of like take the old laws from like 1020 back in like medieval times and start using them and then update them and all that. It's just crap, basically, is what it is. But there's a big thing now with our Prime Minister. No one likes him, basically, for a number of reasons. And they've just done the budget, and that's a big joke on its own. I don't usually do politics because I just go off on one. And I do my own editing when I do. But it doesn't matter who you put in charge. They're as daft as each other. Who would want to run a country that is falling apart? You can see it day by day, just falling to pieces. Why would you want to take that on? I'm like, no.
Have you ever seen the pictures of American presidents before their presidency and after?
Yeah.
They look rough.
It takes a
rough
toll,
as hell after.
Yeah.
It ages them like crazy.
No, it has to be a horrible responsibility. I mean, I wouldn't want that.
No.
Yeah. I remember back home in Pennsylvania, we had a petition to keep a road just one way because they were speeders. So we're just going to have it one way. And we went to the town council and we had this big shootout, and it was like 50% of the people were for me, which was fine, but 50% were against me. You know, that's hard to take. I mean, when you take a let your voice be heard, when you take an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're going to piss somebody off.
Putting your head on. You're putting your head on the line. So, but
you're not going to please. You're not going to please everyone.
No, I think with this paranormal thing, and I got into this. I was a rock journalist, but since I've been in the paranormal, the only thing I'm trying to do is try to articulate what the paranormal is in a way that maybe gives it a little bit more validity for the scientific community and for the public. You know, if we could talk about these things, I mean, that we're not zealots, that we're not idiots, that, you know, that we're just, we have a lot of, emotions and energies and knowledge about these things. And, so I just think that if we could talk about that, especially on programs like yours, talk about it in a common sense way. And we can, and listen, and I know this isn't about politics, but common sense people, grounded people, well-adjusted people, intelligent people can talk about sex, drugs, rock and roll, and politics without going berserk, without going crazy. I mean, we can do this, and and with with politics and religion, I mean, I don't care what your view is, just don't cram it down my throat. That's all. That's the only
Exactly.
rule. That's the only rule. You know,
100%.
let me worship. Let me worship in the way I wanna, and let me, show my patriotism as an American in the way that I wanna, and all that. So anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and I think when you immediately resort to name calling, that's when you lose credibility in your argument. Because you have nothing intelligent to say, you just start attacking the other person, calling them all kinds of names.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we just have a whole lot of that. I mean, with our American political system, things used to be relatively cut and dry in a sense, that we had protocol. People would act a certain way, and now that template's been thrown out the window. I mean, I'm just appalled at the lack of whatever. I mean, I'm going to just stop talking about that, but I don't like what's going on. It just really upsets me. It's just pretty much disgusting. So
yeah. Oh, I'll change the subject quickly.
But I do want to just jump in and say that under Biden we had the what is it, the AAOP or whatever, that the organization that's specifically put together to look at flying saucers and UAPs. So Biden was the one that got that enacted, and that was a couple of years ago. And I think they're the ones who are putting together these congressional hearings.
Yeah, definitely.
Andy, you said we were only doing a short one today, right? We have one more question if we can sneak that in.
Can I just, before we do the question, I just want to say there's one thing in the paranormal that does confuse me. And I'm going to be very careful how I say this, because like you were saying before, it will offend some people, or they'll be like shitty about it. But how can you not want to be part of the paranormal thing, but be part of what's going on in the paranormal world, but only believe in certain aspects of it? So you'll believe in ghosts and spirits, or UFOs and Bigfoot, but you won't believe in the faithful, like goblins and elves, or you won't believe that the possibility that there could be mermaids or flying humanoids. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that you should believe in everything from one end of the spectrum to the other, but if you're going to go into this, you should have an open mind on all of it, unless you have got absolute 100% evidential proof that these things do not exist.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were indicating, Andy, that in the UK, there's not a whole lot of following for Bigfoot and cryptids, because maybe you don't have a whole lot of those. But, in the States, we do, and by the same token, over in Ireland, they believe in the fairies. I mean, it's a cultural thing. Over here, we don't quite get it. But over there, I mean, I have neighbors, they're Irish American. They talk about the fairies and their relatives, and they believe in that. So again, I don't know what that is. Maybe we all need something. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe, maybe it's probably a type of religion or a type of mythology, whatever.
Yeah.
But human beings put that together. And for some reason, we need that. And I think we need the paranormal just to make sense of it. Because I'll give you an example. The whole concept of God. I mean, we cannot ever know God because of God's awe. He's unknowable, even though it's our mission, our obligation to try to figure out what God's all about. But we can't. So it's the same thing. I mean, I think we need these things. I think they give our life meaning. I think we've been doing this since primitive times, and even with the recent, what is it, A1 Atlas that came down, the asteroids that's getting busted up. I think. I mean, early on, there were a bunch of people saying, well, this was controlled by intelligent forces, before NASA and a bunch of other people said, nope, it's just an asteroid, so it's passing by. But,
apparently, there's 5 million reptilian Dracos living on it. So, as I seen yesterday.
How small are these Dracos?
Well, I seen this thing on, I think it was
How
on
big is this asteroid?
TikTok or Instagram, so we shared it. So, exactly 5 million. Yeah. So I had a look to see how many, like the population of certain parts around the country. And in Greater Manchester alone, yeah, of the area where I'm from, there's only like 2.9 million people that live in the area. So this asteroid's going to be like pretty big. If there's 5 million humanoids on it, and then you've got all the other stuff on there as well, there's going to be, unless they're all just stood there, like you're like when you get squashed in an elevator and you're all like shoulder to shoulder, like 5 million just stood there waiting. But there's got to be other stuff on it, so it's going to be a big thing. But they're still saying that it's going to come to Earth and what have you, and it's like it's gone, it's past us, and it's going out the other side of the solar system now. People think no, it's not. It's making a U-turn and it's coming back and it's doing this and that and the other, and it's like, well, when it's supposed to, about a month ago, it's supposed to come in this mass alien invasion, and I'm still going to work.
Well, you know what happened in San Diego in the United States a while back when they hit the Halley-Bopp comet, and the cult leaders talked these people into mass suicide because of that. So what happens is things like this, if we follow the lemmings, if we don't use critical thinking and think for ourselves, we could join cults because of out of fear. And there's a good example. And here's another one. Ari Loeb, the professor from Harvard, was the one that's saying that, yes, that this is, it's extraterrestrial and all this. And it probably isn't. But what was different was that A1 Atlas came from outside the solar system. It was bigger and faster than what we've seen before. And also it had blue, I want to say hydrogen, more so than the sun. So we know that there was some hydrogen associated.
Yeah.
But that's about all we knew,
I know. It's just, I don't know what it is, but it's a strange one. Right. So we are just over the 1 hour mark, and we do have one more question for you. So is that okay? I was going to get Nicole to read it because I'm going to struggle with this one, but I'll give it my best shot.
All right.
So go on.
Ooh,
no,
wait,
you can.
okay.
Oh, you're back. You can read this. So this is from Zeno, and he would like to know.
Whoa! No, I'm looking at
it. Maxim, have you any opinion on the archonic usurpation of the Atlantean fall of the Sophian wisdom? Do you believe this is now the demiurge's domain?
Yes, I do.
How many points on Scrabble do we get for this?
You've won.
With that. And also, I want to thank you for that question. I mean, I think that question tells more about the sender than it does about the rest of us. So thank you for that. Yeah, and I think we should always be concerned about the Sophian wisdom. I certainly am, especially around Thanksgiving and harvest time. We should be thinking about that. So yeah, thank you for the question. That was great.
Right. Thank you, Maxim, for coming on. Thank you, Nicole, for staying on as long as you can. But now someone's snipped you like bulbs. But anyway, so we are done for tonight's show. Hopefully, Maxim, you'll come on again in the new year and talk some more with us.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. And, maybe we could take a deeper dive into the realm of demonology and the Shmurl. And for your listeners there, if they have any interest in checking me out or my books, my website is www.maximfurek.com, MAXIMFUREK.com, and you can see my books, and there's a way to communicate with me, etc. So and I hope you do. One other thing, if you do purchase any of my books, please consider doing a review on on Amazon. It means a lot to us writers.
Yeah. Yes. So thank you again. You can find Maxim's links in the description on here. If they're not on there, I do have them. I can send them out to you if you just drop me a message. And that is everything. So thank you again, Maxim. It's been wonderful, same as last time.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. We are back on Friday at 8:30 UK time, 3:30 EST, and we've got Andy Hardy coming on, ex-military, and he's had a lot of weird stuff going on since being a child, and it seems to be following him around. So join us then. He'll be talking to us about that. Abby will be back on Friday as well, possibly somebody else. That's all I'm going to say. And then we are back next Wednesday with David Young, one of the team members who I go out investigating with. He's going to be coming on the show. And that's everything. So either of you two got anything to add before we wrap this up? Are we all good?
Nope. So all the Americans watching, happy Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Yes, what she said. And that's everything. So, Maxim, anything you want to add before we go off?
No, just Andy, thank you, and Nicole, for a wonderful chat. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to tell your listeners about my research and my books. It means a lot to me. So thank you so much. And yes, let's do it again.
Yeah, 100%. You are more than welcome. So thank you, everyone. You can listen back on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Audible, or you can watch it back on YouTube whenever you want. So it's all there. So have a wonderful 2 days. I'll see you in just under 48 hours. Take care, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Harvest Festival, because it's got to be about the same time. And happy Thursday for tomorrow. See you all then. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
When it works, I'm having